It's no secret that second-year Giants running back Tyrone Tracy Jr. is the highest priority add on waivers for Week 9. Rookie running back Cam Scatterbo for the Giants unfortunately went down with what looks to be a season-ending ankle injury in Week 8 against Philadelphia, so Tracy, who had a really great rookie year, is the next man up in that backfield. I'm going to explain why Tyrone Tracy is a guy you should either trade for or pick up heading forward in fantasy football, and we're going to do that by diving into some advanced stats, looking at some film from his rookie season back in 2024, while also exploring some potential trade options if you do decide to make a move for Tracy. Let's go ahead and dive right into the film. Let's go ahead and start off this film breakdown just reminding ourselves what Tracy can do when he is that full-time starter, when he has the chance to ramp up, when he gets the more consistent reps. So we're going to be looking at a lot of film from his rookie season last year in 2024. It's easy to forget how good he was because he's been overshadowed by Cam Scatterbo so far this season. Now Tracy will get the chance at that starting role yet again. So let's just take a look at how good he was during his rookie season so we can see maybe how good he's going to be. One of my favorite things I noticed about Tracy when I went back and watched his film from 2024 was just how good he was in terms of versatility as a runner. He's very, very powerful, but also has that burst of speed, that acceleration that can really burn defenders when he gets a good angle. We're going to see a great example of that here, but it would be insane of me not to mention some incredible standout blocks. We're going to see a really good block from the center here, pushing up this defensive tackle into this area right up here, and then Andrew Thomas, obviously the left tackle, is going to set a really nice edge up here. Tracy's going to be able to hit this hole and cut this way and make something really nice out of this play. I also really like what he does when he gets to the second level, but we'll break that down when we get to it. We see this play start, handoff, and immediately, two just amazing blocks. We have, I believe this is Andrew Thomas. I think he was healthy at this time. The left tackle making just a standout block in the edge. We have a great block from the center here. The left guard is also working inside on this defender. Just a really nice hole to run through. Tracy plants his foot, cuts back inside, hits the hole perfectly, and then right here, I really like what he does. His plan is to go this way, right? But he's not showing that with his body language at all. He's keeping the defender guessing, so the safety can't really take a good angle. Maybe Tracy wants to cut it back this way. He's not going to angle his body this way until the last possible second. Cuts in and then back out really quickly. Gets just the angle on that safety, and then burst of speed right there. Just the in and out and then the burst of speed just reduces the angle of the safety to where he can get a couple more yards out of that. And we'll see this on the replay here. Just the in and out from Tracy to gain a couple more yards. Manipulating the defender. Really nice cut there. In and out. Gains a couple burst of speed there. Nice acceleration. Gets about 10-15 more yards. So it seems to be a busted play from this Giants offense in a sense. This defensive lineman here is going to disengage from this left guard at the last second and fill the gap that Tracy's trying to hit. I think he does a great job of redirecting, dancing around the offensive line, finding which gap to hit, finally getting creative, rerouting, redirecting, and hitting a hole and getting a touchdown. Right here you see his plan is to get up in here. This defensive lineman's going to disengage, block in that gap. He's going to have to bounce it around through. And you can see just the creativity from Tracy, but also the burst of speed. You can see that gap is no longer viable. He's going to bounce around. And finally, boom, he sees this lane right here. He's going to outspeed both these defenders and just go off to the races. Right there. He's gone. Great speed. Breaks tackle. Touchdown. Here again, we're going to see that burst and acceleration from Tracy. He's going to be really good north to south here, picking up as many yards as possible, planting his foot in the ground, and just flying through this defense. Good stuff from the blocking here. We're going to see 74 right here, and 85 the tight end. These two guys block these two defensive linemen, the edge rusher and the D tackle. And these guys are going to work up field to the linebackers, block them really well. Tracy is going to see that, hit the hole perfectly, fly through the line, make a spin move, gain some extra yards. It's a really nice looking play. And we see just the acceleration of Tracy, just the pure speed and athleticism. Makes a nice spin move. He's good when he hits the second level. We've seen that multiple times now. And this is a great play from his rookie season. As you can see, we have a little bit of a double team there. Then they're going to work up 74 and 85. They have these two linebackers covered, and Tracy's going to have a wide open hole. plants his foot, hits the hole. There's the spin. Gains some extra yards. He runs hard. One more time, full speed. They work up. Look at how fast he gets upfield. Nice play. Here are two trade proposal ideas involving Tyrone Tracy Jr. That I just threw together. You can let me know what you think in the comments. The first is a bit more complex. We have Tyrone Tracy and Matthew Golden in exchange for Kamani Vidal and TJ Hawkinson. Vidal's kind of in that similar space as Tracy, replacing an injured running back who is performing very well. But Hampton will be back in a couple weeks, so while Vidal has been pretty good, his value is going to be fairly short-lived compared to a guy like Tracy. TJ Hawkinson, on the other hand, is a pretty big name, but hasn't really put up the big points to back up that name. The Vikings' passing offense has been very inconsistent. J.J. McCarthy, the quarterback, has been in and out of the lineup, and we don't know how good this passing attack is going to be once McCarthy returns. Matthew Golden's a receiver with very high upside and a very high ceiling. He's capable of taking the top off of any defense. He's also in a really good passing offense. Tyrone Tracy, like I said, he has long-term value. I think he could even finish as a top 20 running back. Our other trade's a 1-for-1. It's Tyrone Tracy for Deebo Samuel. Deebo's having a pretty good year. And if there's a league mate in your league looking to sell high on Tyrone Tracy, I think, again, he could finish as a top 20 running back if he gets the touches. Deebo Samuel is the type of receiver I'd be willing to deal in exchange for Tracy. I think that'd be a good trade. I love the strength and the contact balance Tracy displays on this next rep. He's going to be wrapped up pretty quickly, but break multiple tackles on kind of a beast mode look and run. Obviously, nothing close to Marshawn Lynch's legendary run itself, but breaks multiple tackles and gains a bunch of extra yards, plenty of yards over expected on this run. Generating some more fantasy points. I think we're tempted to think of a guy who transitioned from receiver, maybe not as like that ground and pound bruiser back, but Tracy's a real physical guy, even between the tackles. Love to see that. He's 5'11", 210, not a small guy at all, but he can lay the boom and he can break some tackles, some arm tackles from this Pittsburgh Steelers defense back in 2024. You can see Tracy can take the carry, finds the hole pretty well. And then right here, he gets wrapped up. You think he's going to go down. He's just going to spin out of it, break tackles, show the strength, and even drag the defenders for 5 extra yards when they get him again. What a freaking play. We've talked a little bit about Tracy's physicality. Something I was looking for when I look back at his 2024 film. Does he have that speed on these breakaway runs to break off some long touchdown scampers? Can he be that big play guy that can break off the 50 or 60-yard run? This is one of the plays that showed me that he can. We're going to see some real standout blocks. 86, nice block here. I believe it's 70 with a nice block up the middle. And that creates a nice lane for Tracy to hit. Pretty obvious where he's supposed to go. And then he's just going to turn on the burners. Minkah Fitzpatrick does not take the correct angle and is not able to catch up to Tracy as he gets all the way into the end zone. The speed from Tracy is really impressive. You're seeing a high ceiling type player that's capable of turning in these 50-yard touchdown runs. That could be just a really valuable piece to your fantasy team. Right here, you can see good block in the interior here, good block in the edge. But Tracy's going to hit this hole too fast. He's already beaten this first level of defense. Now Minkah is going to try to catch up with him. It's going to be tough. And he's not able to. Look at the speed out in front. Strong runner. And able to get into the end zone. Great play. We're going to see another angle of this. Nice block from 70. Able to outrun the entire defense to the end zone. Really nice play. Here we're going to see a cool play from the Giants and a really nice juke from Tracy. Just showing that change of direction ability that helped him play receiver at the collegiate level. We're going to see a nice in block here from this offensive lineman. Bellinger is going to block up on this edge rusher right here. And then they're going to pull 76, the left guard, out to run to the outside of the formation and block this defender here on the edge of the play. Tracy is going to get the carry around here, follow this guard out, follow his block, and then cut up and make a really nice run out of this. Juke a defender at the end. It's going to look really nice. As you can see, ball snapped. Offensive line does a nice job pressing in everything up here. Bellinger's going to get this block. Guards coming around to get this defender. Here it is. And then Tracy is just going to cut inside. Really nice. Show the speed up field. And then juke. Kind of fell over on the juke, but, I mean, come on. Still made the defender miss. Great move. And then we're going to see that second angle here. Cool play design. I really like it. Guard does a great job on that block on the outside. And there's the juke. makes a defender taste turf. I know we talked a lot about Tracy back in his rookie season. Let's do a little bit more of that. Looking at his snaps by position, we can see that receiver background really kicked in his rookie year. 45 snaps in the slot. 44 out wide, so getting a few in most games, but obviously taking most of his snaps in the backfield. He is a running back after all. Then heading into 2025, we know that he's had less snaps overall. It makes sense because Scadaboo was the main guy, but he still has a couple of those snaps. Then looking at his offensive grades so far this season, actually grading out better so far, just offensively overall than his rookie season so far. We can see over the past couple weeks a really high pass block grade that's going to keep him on the field already because we know he's a good receiving back that's going to keep him on field during passing downs, but they can also use him to block in that part of the game as well. Had a really good offensive grade total, a good rushing grade against Philadelphia in Scadaboo's stead, replacing him there. Then just looking at his overall stats, you can see this breakaway percentage, how often he can break off those big runs. From 2024 to 2025, took a big dip. I think that's because his sample size is also smaller. He has less chances to break off those big runs. So I think we could see that number go closer back to this, maybe not quite the 31, but go closer back to it if he's given more carries, which I assume he will. And of course, we can see how good he was as a receiver. 38 receptions off 50 targets for 284 yards last year. Also, of course, had 839 rushing yards with 5 touchdowns. He was a really, really good rookie, and I would love to see him put up good production again in his sophomore season. Of course, the circumstances are unfortunate, but we'll see how he does. Obviously, Tracy was that receiver in college before he transitioned to the running back position, so we have to show some receiving plays as well. He was used on a lot of screens in his rookie season, which provided a ton of PPR value. We know that there is some value in this offense still for that role because Scadaboo was used so much as a receiver. I think Tracy could slot into that role really well because he did that in his rookie year. He was, a pretty proficient receiver. On this play, we're going to see Tracy kind of chip on this edge rusher. I don't even know if he makes really any contact, but he's going to bounce outside and kind of be this safety valve for the quarterback on this play. Kind of just sit in this space as the Cowboys drop into a zone coverage. Nothing else going to be open. And the quarterback's just going to be harassed in the pocket. Barely get it out to Tracy, who makes a ridiculous juke on the linebacker. I believe it's Overshown, who gets juked out of his cleats. And then go upfield with some violent running and gain a ton of yards. As you can see, ball snapped. Tracy kind of interrupts the path of his edge rusher there on the left side. Gets out. Not a ton is open. This guy's covered over here. This tight end's kind of open, but the quarterback, I think this is Drew Lock also, not Daniel Jones, obviously back in 2024. But he's not really in a position to make that throw because he has this guy bearing down on him right over here. This guy's covered. This guy's covered. So really the only option is Tracy, who has a ton of green grass in front of him. So he's going to barely just flick it out to Tracy. And I love when receivers and running backs do this. They're going to fake this way and then just break it back inside, break the ankles of the linebacker. Look at him break it back inside. That was awesome. We're going to have to replay that. That was a freaking sick move, dude. Just look at this again. Flick to Tracy. Fakes forward, jukes back inside. That is so awesome. Violent running, gets a bunch of extra yards. We're going to see a screenplay to Tracy on this next play. This receiver is going to come around. I don't know if you want to call this like an orbit or something like that. He's going to get the fake around here. Tracy's going to come up here on the screen over here. But the quarterback's going to fake it to this receiver. That's going to keep a lot of these defenders kind of grounded in this area because, in case that there's, an end-around threat this way, they want to be there to defend it. Meanwhile, Tracy has snuck out to the right side and has a good amount of open space over here. He's going to get some nice blocks, but really show some good run after the catch. And running through contact, he's going to absorb a pretty big hit and keep going. Blindfold here. Here is the fake end-around right here. Tracy's going to come up through this gap in the offensive line, settle in this space. He'll have plenty of space to work with. Screen. Blocker's out in front. He navigates well. Takes a big hit. Keeps going through contact. Gets about 5 more yards out of it. Good stuff. Overall, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to Fantasy Trading Room for more fantasy advice like this all season long. We're going to be doing more film breakdowns and also just more general advice. Let me know what you guys think of the video in the comments. Are you going to be trading for or picking up Tyrone Tracy off waivers? I think he could end up being an absolute fantastic fantasy running back this season. If he's given the touches I think he should be getting. That's all I got for you guys. I'm Joe, and this is Fantasy Trading Room.